Hello, I'm Kieran O'Connor and welcome back to episode 27 of the Week in the Life series. We have found ourselves at another huge event here in Dubai and we are at Blockchain Life, the most premium crypto industry event here in Dubai. We've got no time to waste again on a long introductions because today and this week we're going to be getting as many interviews as we can. Me and Skylar have been working behind the scenes to organise some and we've actually pre-booked 3 with guest speakers in any industry you can think of. Unlike BitMEX, which was a 5-day event, this is only 2 days. So we're going to have our work cut out trying to get 10 interviews in 2 days. Outside of that, I've actually got to run a recruitment business as well and trying to manage demanding clients with sourcing candidates. You are not going to want to miss this episode, so make sure you stick around to the end.
10 toes down in my B22s. Young ST hit the T and he blew. Pat came in, disappeared like the moose. Yeah, I'm out the mud, yeah, I'm really the truth. 10 toes down in his Christian's yard. They know me by my real name in the store.
We are here for our first interview of the day and I am with Antonio. You mentioned off camera that people or you're helping people become financially free or different streams of income. So just go into a little bit more detail about how would people work with your community and ecosystem?
Okay, we started over 3.5 years ago in Spain as a conscious business club, CBC club. We've helped over 30,000 people to actually increase their levels of financial education. People have the right to be personally free, to be professionally free, to be financially free, and that's our purpose, that's part of our mission.
In 5 years from now, how will the world operate?
By 2030, about 11.6% of people will have adopted web services, or we'll have 1 billion people in the world using web services. This is a market which is growing about 40% compound annual growth rate. It's growing very fast. You probably cannot find any other sector which grows as fast as the Web3 sector. And our vision, a big vision, we want to enable 100 million people to actually be able to move from Web 2 into Web 3 services, just by giving them education, by showing them how to make things easy. For example, we have Blonect here. Blonect is probably the world's most secure digital decentralized wallet. You can do crypto transactions very fast and very securely and very cheaply.
Well, if anyone's looking to enter this world, Antonio's the man. I think I'm going to have a chat off camera with him about how I can actually enter this world as well. So thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
We are backstage with Sergey after his main stage talk, and we're going to ask him exactly what part he plays within this wonderful event and the future of blockchain and Web3. Sergey, thank you very much for giving us a short interview. I know you're a busy man. For anyone that isn't aware of who you are you and what part do you play here and what does your company do?
Hi, I'm Sergey Hitrov. I'm founder of Blockchain Life, Listing.help and Jets Capital. If we discuss about Blockchain Life, you see that we organize one of the biggest crypto events in the world. A lot of really strong speakers like Pavel Durov, founder of Tether and something else.
This event is absolutely incredible. I think there's over 15,000 people here today. For anyone that hasn't been to an event, what is available here for everyone?
They can meet personal founders and C-levels from top altcoins. We can analyze a lot of time about some projects and when you meet person and ask some important question, I think it's the best way to do analysis because we talk for a lot of people. You can do research yourself during half a year or networking here 2 days and it will be the same.
I agree. 2 days here, you can learn a lot more than 6 months online. Yeah. You spoke about the next 6 months of decentralized finance and the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Could you share a little bit of information for the people that didn't see that? What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 months?
I think we are in the start in the next wave because we have really strong accumulation phase. We see that a lot of Web2 audience will join to Web3. We see that a lot of big private company will want to launch their own stable coins. We see RWA trends that a lot of company try to tokenize their real estate funds and also we think that during next half a year, we will see that a lot of ETF launched for major altcoins and a lot of traditional capital come into our market.
So now is a good time to enter Web3 from Web2, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you very much for your interview. We really appreciate it, Sergey. 1 hour, 30 minutes in, and we've just got 2 interviews. That interview there was with the founder of Blockchain Life. I cannot actually believe we just managed to speak to Sergey for 10 minutes, and he spoke to us about the next 6 months of decentralized finance, and the blockchain. Let's carry on going. The music is absolutely pumping here. I can't actually believe how loud it is for a small event compared to GITEX, whatever it's called, when we went last week. The atmosphere here is nuts. Quick coffee break, and we're going to get how many interviews today? 6. We're going for 6, 2 down. We met the founder. Come on. I don't think we can get much better than that. 4 more to go. We are very lucky to be joined by Irina here after her talk on stage. She's going to tell us exactly how her talk was first and talk a little bit about Neos Legal. I'm looking forward to this interview. So please tell all the audience who you are and first of all, how your talk was on stage.
Absolutely delighted to be here. My name is Irina Hiver. I'm UAE's crypto lawyer. I'm the founder of Neos Legal. We are the first crypto native law firm established here in the UAE almost 10 years ago. So when I left the corporate world, I was the general counsel within the largest shipping group in the world, and we did the first blockchain project in 2014. So when I left the corporate role to work with crypto companies, with blockchain companies, of course everybody thought I went nuts. Otherwise, what's the reason of doing this? But here we are 10 years later. Just look at the energy, look at what's happening in our industry. So of course all of those people are messaging saying, Irina, what a fantastic move you've made 10 years ago. So
what is Dubai specifically, or maybe the UAE, doing different in terms of the other main crypto hubs in the world?
What have we seen over the last 3 years is that the ecosystem is moving to the UAE, is moving specifically to Dubai. We just published a map of every regulated business in the UAE, and we have 5 regulators in the UAE: Central Bank, ESCA, VARA, ADGM, and DIFC. We have over 80 regulated businesses, which is the largest regulated space in the world. Between these 5 regulators, they have really made the regulatory environment, first of all, certain. Secondly, very approachable. For example, in Switzerland, we have one FINMA. If FINMA cannot support your business model or not happy with your business model, what do? You cannot work there, right? If you look at the UAE as an ecosystem, it's just a beautiful map. Everything makes sense. However, there's so much that it's very easy to get confused. There's too many regulators. Even international firms get confused easily. Experienced entrepreneurs get confused easily because nobody is used to that much of a complicated environment. And we are here to support everybody coming in to explain how and where do you fit in.
I think what I heard correctly was the UAE are very supportive and they're trying to build this ecosystem, right? There's many hubs that are supporting the companies, but too much choice is sometimes a bad thing as well. Having too much choice to become regulated as well. What are some of the challenges that the companies face from a compliance and regulation perspective that you've seen setting up in the UAE?
Number one challenge is understanding the environment. We wrote Founder's Guide to UAE Crypto Laws. It's absolutely free for every founder, for absolutely everybody who wants to come in the UAE and understand. We partnered with VARA on this book. We partnered with DMCC Crypto Center and the ADGM courts on this book because it was very important for me to make it a community book by the UAE's crypto lawyer in partnership with the regulators.
I know a lot of people are going to be thinking who are maybe considering coming to the UAE or maybe early here as well. Like, what is the best time that they should start thinking about their legal practices? Is there a specific milestone in a journey where you should say, right, I need to go seek an expert legal advice and they should come to you?
As early as possible, before you establish the company, before you do anything, before you incorporate, come and talk to a trusted specialized crypto lawyer. The lawyer for you is the one who first understands the Web3 and the crypto space. Secondly, been in the UAE hopefully more than one day. I've been here 18 years. Somebody who worked with the government so they understand what it takes. So find the lawyer that you feel comfortable with because it's a very you have to trust the person. There needs to be trust and rapport established before you start taking that person's advice. It's very important. So talk to them. First consultation is always free. I do not know a single lawyer who would not offer a first consultation for free to understand your business and to give you options, to give you the roadmap. So it's very easy to reach out to us, neoslegal.co. We have wonderful, wonderful law firms, wonderful lawyers here in the UAE. So talk to them, get a roadmap for your business, and then start building.
What do you predict over the next 6 to 18 months, 1 to 2 years, for the Web3 and blockchain and crypto space? What have you seen and where do you think it's going to go?
what I see a lot is, of course, the trends, right? They come and go. You remember the gamify, the metaverse, the NFTs. Now we're back to the RWA, and I'm very bullish and optimistic about RWA. This is not a Wild West anymore. The regulators understand enforcement notices are coming in. So I expect the regulators to send even more enforcement notices, and I expect them to be even more stricter on compliance. So no naughty business. We want our ecosystem as clean, as compliant as possible, because one bad apple can ruin the fun for the rest of us. If your jurisdiction does not support your business model, this will. If your jurisdiction does not want 50% of your taxes, this jurisdiction wants 0% of your taxes. You earned so hard, you worked hard. Come to Dubai, check us out. If you like it, stay.
Well, you've heard all the positives. You now know who to speak to, but you heard it here first. No naughty business. Thank you very much for your interview. And that's it. We're wrapping up day one at Blockchain Life in Dubai with 5 solid interviews. We actually managed to get 2 of the guest speakers. One was Arina, the UAE crypto lawyer, been in the space for 10 years and in the UAE for 18 years. The second was actually the founder of Blockchain Forum and Blockchain Life, Sergi. So we're very, very happy with those. I've now actually got to go run a recruitment business and go to paddle for an hour and a half this evening. A bit of a paddle addict at the minute. So in between all that, I'm going to have to try and organise some more interviews for tomorrow. We have 2 pre-organised. One is a guest speaker again. I'd like to come with 2 or 3 more booked in before we ask a load more people, get a few yeses and a lot more no's. And we're back in the game for the most exclusive and premium cryptocurrency and blockchain event here in Dubai. Today is day 2 and it's the final day. It's a very short event. Yesterday was huge. We managed to get 5 interviews, and I don't know why I set these ambitious goals of speaking to a certain amount of people, but today we're going to have to speak to 5 more because I promised you 10 people. Yesterday I wore an all blue whistle, a nice little navy one. Today I've gone for all grey, just so people know that I'm that guy that wears all of the one colour. So have a quick look around the event, head over to a couple of stands and see who wants to talk about their business.
Free. I had reasonable doubt as my intro. We swing around with Illmatic, say you involved. Heard they ran off on the plug by the 10th load. All the stress why I need my money tenfold. I took a chapter out the mob page. 1 gauge, 2 bodies on the front page. And we don't do it for the likes on the blog page. All I need is one.
Who are you and what do you do in your professional life?
Okay, I'm Stefan, CEO of BitMEX. BitMEX is the oldest and the first crypto derivatives exchange that's still running. So everything that you see in crypto derivatives trading was invented by our founders. And our mission is to be the #1 venue for institutional and legitimate and consistent, which means heavy traders in digital assets.
Wow, so you're actually the oldest company in the space.
Crypto derivatives exchange, yes.
Why would somebody be interested in using BitMEX, and what are the differences between you and the other platforms?
We are unique in some way, shape or form, and this is especially, we are neutral. So we don't make markets on our own platform. We don't trade against our customers. So in many exchanges, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a choice, you trade basically against the exchange as a counterparty. We operate like a Eurex or like a Chicago Mercantile Exchange. We are truly peer-to-peer. We are not interfering. We are 100% rules-based. So to give you an example, when we had October 10th, October 11th, the crash, our system worked perfectly because we didn't interfere with them. And even our insurance fund was drawn down, but only to a minimal extent. And we had auto-deleveraging to a minimal extent only compared to the overall trading volume. That's the main difference. So it's a truly professional venue. One of our slogans of the founders was never lose the Bitcoin. I mean, it still is our motto today.
And still to this day, you haven't lost a single coin. Incredible. What an interview. Thank you very much, Stefan. I love the energy, man. The time is 10:37 and we've already smashed out 2 interviews this morning, but I have had to leave the event with Skylar because I'm going to meet a founder of a stealth startup 28 kilometers away, a 40-minute drive. We booked Blockchain Life pretty late over the weekend and I moved a few things around, but I couldn't move this meeting around. This person is building something pretty cool and it's actually very similar to another company that I work with. So I reached out, let him know that there might be some opportunity for us to help. Going to go to his offices and see if there might be any opportunities for collaboration, then head straight back to the event to try and finalize these last few interviews. There's never a slow day when running this business. Michael, we've had a good chat off camera, but for those who aren't aware of who you are, let us know and also give us a bit of a background about you and Cyvers.
Sure thing. So as you've mentioned, I'm Michael Pearl, the VP go-to-market of Cyvers. Cyvers is a Web3 threat prevention company. This year we prevented $500 million, I'm going to repeat it, $500 million of lost funds for our clients, working with clients like Binance, Crypto.com, Ledger, and a bunch of other companies basically across the board.
$500 million, not $500,000. When we spoke to Sergey, the founder of the event, he mentioned on stage about the trends as well and the meme coin last year when it peaked. Let's imagine someone has no experience in crypto, nothing at all. They don't even know where to start. What would be the first baby step that they should take to get into the industry? What do they do?
So I think that the first step would be education. This industry is quite young, but it's very multifaceted, and you have so much to learn, right? And also, I think it's the first industry where you need to be, even as a trader, I'm not even talking about, let's say, an entrepreneur, you need to be both a tech-oriented person, you need to be a financier, and you need to be a lawyer to understand the regulation. So I think learning, and right now there are plenty of great platforms such as yours to learn about crypto, to get educated about it. So I think that's the first step before investing and before taking more major decisions.
So free knowledge, you can either watch channels like this or other ones, or come to an event like this and speak to people as well.
For sure.
Thank you very much for your time, Michael. Appreciate it. Right now, we're backstage and very lucky to be joined by Fabrizio. He's just finished one of his stage talks. For those that aren't aware of who you are, tell everyone what you do at the minute with Legion.
Being a founder is never easy, but we'll kick it off very straightforward. Introduction, Fabrizio, or Fab is my name. Working 24/7, doing pretty much everything that needs to be done. I've got one co-founder. Typically, people will split the product line. We're both kind of do everything, so we just pick up major priority instead. That's kind of how we prioritize what needs to be done. About Legion itself, we're a capital formation platform. Originally, we were doing only the on-chain capital formation, so we can help projects raise really early stage pre-liquid token, help them with going public and token ICOs, and also can facilitate secondary sales. We're helping projects pricing, helping with distribution, helping, do you need to meet liquid funds? We'll make introductions. How are you thinking about exchange strategy? What's the difference in market making between a retainer or a call option? Do you need both, and vice versa?
Let's stick on the topic of founders in a minute, because I'm also a founder, been a founder for the last 2 years. So when you're saying wearing all the hats, you're doing pretty much everything: sales, marketing, finance, operations, absolutely everything. Tell everyone about your experience from being a founder of a few businesses. What have you learned over the years that maybe other people could take away?
Yeah, definitely. I think probably the most critical thing, especially lately, is taking concentrated bets. I would say that it's very easy to get into the trap of wanting to do everything all the time, right? And I think the absolute best founders will be able to say a clear nose to anything that's not directly related or adjacent even to the business. And then even in that business line, you really want to be you need to crush one thing, because there's always going to be teams out there, corporations, exchanges that just have almost infinite resources. And you as a founder, it's you only have so much time, your team only has so much time. So you need to be very calculated in what you do. So to put that into perspective, in Legion, and like I said before, we can do early stage deals, we can do secondary deals. We're getting approached to do partnerships with this person, with that person. And then we kind of realize okay, rather than trying to service the entire scope of fundraising, this last 4 or 5 months, we've been okay, how do we grow the biggest distribution channel in the world? And how do we focus on going public, ICOs, big ICOs? And that's been it. Still every day things are creeping in, there's opportunity here, there's a partnership there, but just getting really good at saying no to that, and then just going all gas, no brakes, we say in Australia, in that one thesis, until you've either had a credible chance to prove that it works or doesn't work, or until you run out of capital if you haven't done the former. Hopefully not the latter.
My final question, we have people who are maybe as knowledgeable as you and other people in the crypto space. A lot of our audience might not have ever ventured in, and maybe they're looking to start. What would your advice be to someone who's at zero? What is that first step just to coming into the crypto space to understand more about the world?
I always like to think from first principles, right? You probably want to work out why are you intrigued? Why are you interested? Is it monetary gains? Do you like risk? Are you intellectually interested in the technology? Whatever it might be. I think just having a good understanding of why that's the case is probably the most important thing. From there, then, it would be trying to connect with like-minded people that share that same passion, right? If it's on the tech side, then go to hackathons, reach out to people on X that are contributing to open source GitHub repos, build connections there. If it's on the pure financial speculation side, it's go find a cabal, right? Find other people that feel the same way, learn as much as possible. We're kind of in this unique situation where, and I'm sure it'd be the same situation, when we grew up, we didn't really even have Google, right? And now it's anything you want to learn is available for you there. And free. And so now it's about curation, right? So you have access to all the data in the world. It's just around curating what makes sense, what works. and finding people that share a similar vein or passion or interest in why you're in the space, I think that can help kind of curate what makes sense to learn.
What a wonderful interview. Thank you very much.
No
we
worries.
really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Over the last 48 hours, we have promised you 10 interviews, and it's coming to the end of the event, and we have managed nine very, very good ones. We actually managed to speak to 3 of the speakers on stage. It's been very, very tough to get people to speak about their business and the future of cryptocurrency. We've probably had more rejection here than we did at the GitX event a couple of weeks ago. Blockchain Life 2025, you've been an absolutely amazing event, and we've been invited to an after party tomorrow at an art exhibition, so we better get a move on. If you're just talking about the two, Fiverr or a permanently employed person, Fiverr's going to win every time. But then it comes down to longevity and the future goals of the business, because the Fiverr person, he or she, are they going to be emotionally bought into the business for the next 12 to 24 months? Are they really going to understand the mission long term? You don't have to potentially hire someone permanently employed in the UK. I don't think. You could look at someone who does some self-employed freelancing and maybe has 2 or 3 clients in this space. They might do 2 days a week with you. I don't think you'd need a full-time person. I think a freelancer or someone who has their own small micro business who specializes in wearing a few hats, communications, external facing content, brand positioning, I think that's going to be a better start than committing full-time to a full-time employee, because we both know hiring in the UK is expensive. Yeah, that was where I was going with that. When you said the third hire, I was thinking that's got to be a salesperson. Yeah, well, what's the thought behind that? What's the hesitation, I guess? Because when you immediately think of a sales hire, you think great sales hire, more business, great, more money coming in. But obviously, it's a big investment from someone. What are you not sure about for a sales hire? I agree. And at that point, a well-trained or a self-aware salesperson, assuming that's on a call, says that's a great question. This is probably the time where we should book in some time so the founder can come in and actually show you what we can do. So I think there's a difference between someone who actually knows sales and can say confidently, I don't know the answer to that. I think we can. Let's bring the founder on board. Let's set up a time for 30 minutes rather than just someone who says, yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. I've seen those. I've potentially been that myself as well. But I think from the right direction from you, by saying, hey, look, this is what we can do. We can build this. If anyone comes with you to suggest X, Y, Z, that's the time to book a call. Because if they're asking questions, they're interested. To be a subject matter expert in your industry in the first 3 months, I don't think it's required. What I do think is required is to, number one, for them to be curious and learn, first and foremost, but their job is to open doors. Your job as the founder would never be to step away from sales, but to walk through the door. And a good salesperson will certainly book in meetings. And the first few, there'll be gaps. Over time, sales is investment, right? There should be a better understanding of what's available and what's not. But I think that the initial thing is opening doors, not walking through doors. I think that's a very accurate review of what we've spoken about, and a short story, which is identical to this. So there's a company that I mentioned in Swansea called, I think I actually shared the testimonial with you. So they had this same dilemma. She was speaking to me and she trusted me as, what do we do? We've got budget. Do we do marketing? Do we do sales? We're going back and forth. We just needed to understand what the goals of the business are. Like what are the goals? And the goals for them was simply to win new business. Secondary to that was brand visibility and awareness. But ultimately, it was lead generation and revenue. But I think sales comes before marketing. And I'll tell you what, sales works well with marketing, because marketing can tell stories about customer wins, customer journeys, and customer experience. Marketing on their own will really struggle to keep up with external communications when there's no stories to be told. So chicken and the egg sort of situation, I think sales comes first with marketing. I really, really do. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, there's no rush from my side, and it's got to be absolutely right from you in the business, commercially and, for the future to work. So how about this then? You've obviously got a lot on your plate, and hopefully this comes in the next 2 weeks. If I don't hear from you by the end of November, 4 weeks from now, I'll drop you an email, but I'll leave it to you to contact me before that if there's good news that comes in. Does that sound like a plan where we both know next steps? Sounds good, man. I appreciate your time. It's always good to chat. I really appreciate the psychology-led chat at the beginning. It's really helpful to me. Yeah, you're a legend, man. Thank you very much. Good luck for the next couple of weeks. Just wrapped up an hour-long new business meeting. I'm pretty sure it was light outside by the time I started. That's how long that one lasted. That was a very, very good chat with a founder that we spoke to a few weeks back. Still no business there just yet. Hopefully, as you would have heard, in the middle of November, there's going to be a green light on a potential technologist position and a sales higher. I can't believe it's only Thursday already. It feels like it's been about 2 weeks since Monday. Probably because of this Blockchain Life event, we managed to get 9 interviews, as you would have seen most of them in this week in the life. Also, you're going to have to check out the bonus content. I'm absolutely run off my feet, but it's been a very, very productive week. We've also recorded our first online video testimonial. As you would see on the channel, we've been doing some in-person testimonials. Written testimonials are great, but these in-person ones have been doing wonders for business development and also increasing brand visibility. But take a look at this online video testimonial here.
I'm Sophie Salnacht. I am the AI lead at Bots for That. So I recently got promoted to AI lead. 8 months, maybe 8 months. I was searching for about 6 months before I even, got in contact with you. I was thinking about moving back to the US because there really was no options. So very grateful to have come across you when I did. I got your message on LinkedIn and immediately I was like, yeah, this is the person for me. He's going to help me. You were really, really excited to help me. You jumped right in. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. I'm very grateful for, working with you, and amazing. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10, honestly.
How about that for a brand new video testimonial? We've got 6 more booked in between now and December, and we're going to be doing as many as we can. So if you're a candidate who watches this and I've worked for you, or even a client, you might have a booking link coming soon. Make sure you say yes. What else have I been doing today? Well, this morning I had an hour-and-a-half meeting and a coffee with a new contact called Mark Colburn. Just had to check his name on LinkedIn there. He's actually a Paralympic gold medalist and he's got an MBE, originally from Cardiff, now lives in Dubai. He's a high performance coach and an international keynote speaker. If you want to check him out, he actually broke his back in his late 30s paragliding. 3 years later, went to the Olympics and won a gold medal in cycling. That's just nuts. And a quick update, 2 deals last week. And on Friday of the last week in the life, I spoke about 2 extra deals that we were expecting. As you will know, if you watched that, they didn't come in. And the update is the final stage on that is today. So in around 45 minutes, this candidate has their final stage interview. Just to recap, they're interviewing for a head of engineering position. Rightly or wrongly, we've also had a process running for a senior software engineer. That senior software engineer would be a great addition to the business, and they'd like to bring that person in. However, the previous head of software engineering is leaving, and they don't think it's right to bring that person in without the new head of engineering confirmed. Look, I do get it, and I actually agree. We don't want to bring someone in with an unsettled team and throwing them in the deep end. So in the next couple of hours, I should find out if we get a double deal in a single day.
I thank God for the blogs, Susan dripping. Me and bro in the M-way doing mileage, we've been missing, now she ain't calling you.
It's Friday today and there's no messing around. We've actually got 5 meetings in the diary. 3 of them are catch-ups, meaning that I've spoken to these people before, and 2 are new business meetings. I'm hopefully going to be onboarding a new US vacancy this afternoon. And the second is a referral from a very good contact of mine. I'm speaking to a new founder who might be looking for a freelance or fractional CTO. So I'm going to do my very best to get some content of those. I'm walking into the office and I've had some bad news this morning. The 2 offers that we were expecting, the head of engineering was unsuccessful, which ultimately means the senior software engineer is also unsuccessful. I can't show the glitz and the glamour without the difficult stuff, so I've got to have 2 very challenging conversations this morning to let these people know that they've been unsuccessful and that we're going to do our very best to keep in contact and find something else for them. In between that, I'm going to be sourcing for a couple of vacancies, but the main focus today is going to be these 2 new business meetings before I wrap up for the week. So wish me luck. By the end of this day, we should be on board at least 1 new vacancy. What's going on, man? I'm very good, thanks. How are you? What's going on with the fitness journey, first and foremost? You still hierarchy? Yeah, I'm really trying to focus on longevity now. I don't want to be big in 2 years or 3 years. I want to be, in good shape for the next 10, 20 years. So it's a different mindset, isn't it? Well, what's going on? Gave me a heads up that you might be building something or looking to venture out into some piece of software. Give me an idea of what's going on. It's an app. Yeah, it's going to be an app-based piece of software, or web-based as well. App and web-based, and this is being sold to companies, mostly corporate, I imagine, who then get their employees to engage, and they complete some form of test in written form. So what stage is the product and the builder at the minute? Okay, so the investment's waiting on the CTO. So that does mean you're going to hire the CTO with the investment, or the investment comes after the CTO starts. And there's no team at the minute, so from how soon are you going to be expecting them to build a team which is outsourced in Eastern Europe? Are you expecting the CTO to build that team themselves? And how many people are they expecting to manage, from the first 8 weeks? What's the ideal background? Tell me like the most perfect CTO that you're looking for. So it really is a CTO, an all-out CTO. I was wondering if you might be able to get away with like a solid lead engineer here, but that's definitely CTO, architectural design level stuff. So not that that's a problem. Do you want them local? Obviously we're in Cardiff, right? Cardiff's quite a small place. Do you need them here? The one thing that anyone I speak to is going to ask is, like, what's the next year or two, right? Because just so you can repeat yourself, you've budgeted for 6 days a month for the first 6 months. It's good you've got pilots already as well. People buying into what you're doing straight away. That really helps. Has anyone decided what this should be built using in terms of like coding languages? Well, you're in safe hands. I imagine everyone who I speak to will choose the stack of TypeScript, React, and Python. It's probably the most modern stack. It's open source, which means it's like you can use it with AWS, you can use it with all the latest and greatest. Basically, it's either open source or Microsoft. Microsoft is called .NET, and you're limited to Microsoft technologies. Open source means you can practically code and use any tool that you want. Anything that's being built, which is new these days, is usually using TypeScript, React, and Python because it's scalable, and anything that's to do with agentic AI, large language models, fine-tuning them is all in Python as well. So that's the stack that we'd go for, and that's just, not that I would choose that, we'd let them choose that, but I already know that's going to be the answer. I work at speed, and that's not because of it's any benefit to me, it's just because that's how the market naturally operates. And if we don't move at speed, chances are we'll lose some of the best people, or we start speaking to people too early and they can't wait 2-3 months. So we don't have to start straight away, but if you tell me the most perfect start date, we can simply design an interview process which takes an X amount of time, and then I know how long it takes me to find good people. And the interview process, they will speak to who first? Are you going straight to the tough chairman, or do they get to speak to you first? Okay, cool. So they'll speak to you first. You'll be assessing culture fit. Do you get on with them? Are they likable? Do they seem credible? And then they go through to speak to the chairman. Yeah, that's the most common one. So first stage, then code and assessment. Do that in their own time. We always give 5 working days. So Monday you get it back on Friday, and then that gets reviewed ideally within 24-48 hours, and then they go through to the final stage. That's the most common technical process there is, really. Do you have a job description? Send me everything you can. I won't send everything out, but I'd like to read through, because I've got my note taker in here, but obviously when I speak to people, they're probably going to want to see a little bit of information about what's being built. Ping it across, I will then read it. I'll also set some deadlines with you on email, just so you know when you'll hear back, when you'll get the right people in, then you can start planning ahead of interview processes as well. And I'll do that in the next couple of hours. Thanks, brother. Bye-bye. That was meeting number 4 out of 5 for today. And as you would have heard, I've just onboarded a new fractional CTO position, complete greenfield application for a startup. So that's going to be advertised in the next couple of hours. I've done so many meetings today, it's actually dark outside. This is the last one, hopefully going to be onboarding the new US vacancy that I spoke about earlier. I am very, very good today. Yes, I'm very good. What about you? Good, yeah. So Skylar in customer success spoke to me last night, and she left us a great review, and more importantly, she's so happy we found something that was a really good fit for her, because she was quite particular in her job search. So it's a great result all round. It really is. My favourite. Yeah, I love working with companies where people get to wear different hats. It usually excites people when they come into the business. Well, that's good, and there's a lot of change in the business the last couple of years, right? It seems to be going in the right direction every year. I would agree. Yeah, I would agree, and it's so time consuming. Do you know what's the really hard thing is finding the skill set, based on the technical experience needed. That's not too difficult. You can match that up pretty quickly. The time-consuming part is actually matching the culture fit and the values with a company and a person. That really does take days and sometimes even weeks. We only do technology, as in we only work with technology-focused companies. So there's got to be a piece of software. Sometimes we do hardware as well, but that can come under the tech side, software, data, AI, but also operations, sales, and marketing. So we really do enjoy working with smaller companies. We don't enjoy the big corporate conglomerates where there's not that much autonomy, there's not that much creative freedom for people. We enjoy working with smaller companies where the people who come in can make a big difference. You sent me the job description. I've had a good read through. Luckily, this is a position which is pretty common to us, so I can understand exactly what we're looking for. Still got a few questions. If you know enough about the role just to start talking, I'll make notes in between. Okay, well, this is a tough role. I've got quite a lot of questions. You mentioned that the 3rd stage interview process is with the president, and there was only one person that got through out of 3. Why did that person get through? Because that's what we're going to have to look for. So you want the metrics, you want the workings out on how to close. Yeah, it's something we do, and any skilled sales professional, should do that. One of the other things that stood out is salespeople. We are motivated by wins, quick wins, ideally. We like the dopamine rush. We like to feel like that we're doing the right thing. First question is, how do we measure success in the first 90 to 180 days? Because it's unlikely they're going to do a deal, right? For the epitome of success in sales is to make a deal, whatever that might be. So if that's not available, how do we know that they're doing well in 6 months? Just throwing this out there, have you considered incentivizing with either a financial reward, only something small, meetings set in the first 6 months? You can't incentivize calls because they just do the calls. Those are metrics. But if we're confident that the meeting will suggest next steps after that, and hopefully that will progress after that, if we're going to plan for no deal in year one, speaking from experience here, that's quite a tough year for a salesperson. It really, really is. So I think micro incentives on meetings, meaningful meetings, we can't be booking anything. I'm just thinking it's so nice to have something to work towards which actually creates a benefit, like a financial reward. So maybe just take that away after this and see if that might be an option. Sadly, the DJI died mid-meeting, but we managed to pick up 2 new vacancies. So we're on the graveyard shift tonight. I've just ordered a T-bone steak to the office. The time is 10:20 and we're working these crazy US hours at the minute because we're working across 4 different time zones. But I'm going to have to wrap it up because I'm going to have to get in this and then back on LinkedIn. So thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
5, 1, know what I expected this week. I'm alive, that's why I expected this week.